The following featured presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
It's a Neverland Clubhouse, yeah, yeah, yeah. Think of all that we will share. Disney updates and fandom will take you everywhere. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters that will be together. Oh, 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 join our Neverland Clubhouse, yeah, yeah, yeah. Two is twice as nice as one. Memories of friends and family, everybody is welcome. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters guiding you through Disney. Together, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our 13th episode of the Neverland Clubhouse. This is the Disney podcast where we go to different parklands to share Disney stories, news, and what's going on with Disney Plus. I'm Kelly, and this is my sister, Courtney. Hi, everyone. And we have Sarah from Skywalking Through Neverland also joining us in the clubhouse today. Hi, Sarah.
Hi. I'm excited to join you ladies today in the clubhouse. There's nothing better than putting on some jammies and some nice comfy clothes and crossing our legs and hanging out in the clubhouse.
Definitely. Sounds like fun.
Oh, and I have to mention that we are your tour guides through Disney fandom.
That's right, we are. So on today's episode, we will be spending our time on Main Street, USA, as we talk about a very special D23 event that I got to attend honoring Disney legend Dave Smith. We will also be diving deeper into who Dave Smith is and what he did for the Walt Disney Company. Then we will discuss what D23 actually is and why we love being a part of it. After that, we will head over to the Hollywood backlot to go over some new Disney Plus originals that got greenlit during the recent investor call. But first, Kelly and I have a trip update to our upcoming June Walt Disney World trip. Oh boy, do we. Yeah, this is a doozy, guys. So as everyone kind of saw, the Disney Wish got pushed back about a month. So we had a Disney trip scheduled for Florida in June on like the fourth sailing on the Disney Wish. And, well, while we still are going to Florida, the Disney Wish got pushed back to January for us. But because we were canceled and got to rebook, we got to book at a 50% discount, and now we are upgraded to the concierge level with a veranda room. So we will be living the high life on the seas. So we will definitely report back on what it's like to cruise concierge.
That sounds amazing. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to hear about that. I'm very jealous. I also have some news though, that I am going on a Walt Disney World trip unexpectedly in a week. Basically, when this podcast probably comes out, I'll be going pretty soon after that. And I can't tell you why yet, but perhaps on the next episode of Neverland Clubhouse, you'll get an interesting trip report.
Ooh, cannot wait. Oh my gosh, cannot wait. Cannot wait for that. But we are going to still go to Florida, and we have our 10-day Florida trip planned for June 18th through the 28th, and we will now be staying at the Caribbean Beach Resort in a pirate-themed room.
Whoa, that sounds fun.
Yeah, because those are like the top level ones at the Caribbean Beach Resort, I think. Right? Or the highly themed rooms. Yeah. The highly themed
top
rooms.
Level to us, I would say, right?
Exactly. Yes, I would say it's definitely. We can't afford the suites.
Yeah. No kidding.
And we will have a water view close to the Skyliner as we requested. Not sure if that's going to get, fulfilled, but we've requested close to the Skyliner. And this is really fun. We've stayed at the Caribbean Beach Resort before, and the Skyliner is really fun to be on. and really close to. So that is a form of transportation. And so we will be giving you our trip update as it comes available. And hopefully we can make some really good dining reservations too. Yeah. And I'm also hoping to book the Keys to the Kingdom tour. So that is a 5-hour tour of Magic Kingdom. And they take you into places like the Utilidors and just secret backstage stuff. So we can't take any pictures, but we definitely can tell you about it. So when we have our trip update, trip reports, we'll definitely be talking about that. And we do have tickets to the Cirque du Soleil show.
Ooh.
Drawn to life. Yeah, drawn to life. So it should be still a fun trip. It's just not going to be the Disney Wish. But in January, when we take that concierge living the high life on the seas trip, we will definitely report back on that.
So exciting. Oh my gosh. Well, beyond all that, I mean, we've got so much to cover here on the Neverland Clubhouse. So let's climb aboard the Main Street trolley and head into Disneyland. Okay, so on the top of the show, you mentioned Dave Smith. Now, first things first, I know many of us Disney fans have heard the name Dave Smith. We may even know he's the archivist. But for those who don't, or who need a reminder of all his extensive work for the Disney Company, who is Dave Smith?
Well, as you said, Dave started the Walt Disney Archives, which started off with him cataloging Walt's office after he died, because he noticed that he was so in shock about Walt's sudden death in 1966 that he was he wanted to see if he could do a bibliography about Walt Disney. And Roy O. Disney said, you know what, why don't you, go beyond that? And we need somebody who could, keep everything, track everything that we have, just for the company in general. And they wanted to keep all of his stuff intact too. So he gave him the job of cataloging Walt's office. And so that led to them being able to recreate it in displays nowadays. So when you go to the Studios lot, they've recreated Walt's office where it used to be. And now that's an integral part of the tours that D23 guests get to embark on when we can resume tours on the lot again.
Right.
The Disney Archives, it's the first in all of the entertainment world. The studios never really kept any of their props, nothing that helped to make the movies up until that Disney started doing it. And that was all due to Dave, because he has a background as a librarian. So he worked at Huntington Library, and then he did an internship for college at the Library of Congress. And so he has a degree in library science. And at the time he started doing the archiving of Walt's office, he was at UCLA as a librarian.
Wow. That is cool. So this was back in 1966, I'm guessing?
Yeah, more in this, right after it. I think they said 67. So a year afterwards, because it took a while for him to get in touch with Roy and have him actually say, you got the job. Basically there was no position. He invented the position. He curated his own salary. He made up the job. He was just I want to do this. And he got to set his own salary.
Wow. That is cool.
Yeah. The archives today is what gives us these great exhibits at the Bowers Museum. They're behind the ones that behind all that glitters. They were behind the ones of the history of the Disney Archives exhibit in the Bowers the year before. All the great exhibits at D23 Expo, the costuming one, they're the ones behind all of that, because they have control over everything in that. The pirate one that we saw at the 2017 Expo, that's all the Walt Disney Archives, and that was all started by one man. And now they have a team of 35. So yeah, it's grown a lot.
Who wouldn't want to be that?
Yeah.
It's a whole building in Glendale, which I've actually been to. And It is fascinating. I know.
What?
Yes, I have. There was a whole coverage is either on Skywalking Through Neverland or it's on Adventures by Daddy. Because I believe it was when I was working for Adventures by Daddy, but there's like Walt Disney Archives exhibit. It was really cool. We got to go into the archives. We got to like see a Sleeping Beauty, a background, right?
Oh,
like
wow.
and it's so interesting how they keep everything sealed or like pressurized, or just the temperature is a certain way, the humidity is a certain way. And it's fascinating.
I feel like we got like a little sneak peek of that on Pop Culture. Like,
yes.
Just a little sneak peek of that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend watching Prop Culture, and then also Adventures Through the Walt Disney Archives. It's a film produced by Don Hahn, and it is all about the Walt Disney Archives, and it is available on Disney Plus now.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Okay. Definitely have to check that out.
Yes. As well as being an archivist and in charge of the archives, over the years, he did also author some books. One of his major ones is he wrote encyclopedias called A to Z Disney. And this is one that even the archivists at the archives are like, we have these books open all the time and reference them all the time when we're like looking up things, finding new props and new things that they're always gathering. So they always have this book open, Disney A to Z. And they actually announced that there's going to be a 7th edition, because I believe I have the 6th edition that is coming out soon. It's not by Dave Smith, but it's in honor of Dave Smith. And he also wrote the book, Disney Trivia from the Vault, Secrets Revealed and Questions Answered. And I thought I would read a couple of like passages, just little trivia ones that he answered, because I thought they were cool.
Cool. And that we can learn about things.
The first one is from one of the animated features. It involves Hercules. So somebody asked him, in the movie Hercules, when Herc and Pegasus are putting their hand and hoof prints in the cement, it says to Sid on the other cement squares around them. What is the reason for this? And Dave said, do you know why?
I know. I know
why.
This is the Grauman's Chinese Theater, right?
Yes.
He's the owner of the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And if you go there, all of the footprints from like that era, the 40s, 30s, 20s, they all say to Sid.
Yes. So in Hercules, they did a parody of that with Hercules putting his hands in the. So he said the original owner of the fabled Chinese theater in Hollywood was Sid Grauman, and he is the one who began the tradition of having stars put their hand and footprints in cement in front of his theater. Besides the reference to him in Hercules, he is caricatured in the early Mickey Mouse cartoon, Mickey's Gala Premiere. And so another one from Disneyland. Let's see here. As a 7-year-old child on my first trip to Disneyland in 1970, I was so terrified by the Adventure Through Inner Space ride that I snuggled tight by my mom and I wouldn't open my eyes. I did open my eyes on a trip about 2 years later and was fascinated by the ride. I especially loved the dioramas previewing the adventure and the tiny cars going into the microscope. Whatever became of the dioramas, giant snowflakes, and automobiles? I hope they are safe somewhere out there. In there? And that was from Matt from Fremont. And Dave Smith says, Adventure Through Inner Space, sponsored by Monsanto, was a very popular attraction at Disneyland from 1967 to 1985. When the attraction was removed, only some of the miniature automobiles were kept by the Walt Disney Company. One was auctioned on a Disney auction section of eBay in October 2000. It sold for $5,100. Several of the miniature automobiles are now in the Walt Disney Archives. The giant microscope could be glimpsed for years at the beginning of the Star Tours journey, commemorating the attraction that used to occupy that space. I don't remember ever seeing a giant microscope, but they always like to, leave something from past attractions and the new ones that they build. So
Disney loves a good Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Practically invented them.
Yes.
Right. And because we're all going to Walt Disney World, one last one from Walt Disney World. At the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Rod Serling, the host of the Twilight Zone, appears on a television to give a history of the hotel. Serling died years before the attraction opened. How could this footage have been filmed? By Andrew from Staten Island.
Andrew doesn't watch a lot of special effects things.
Right?
or
voiceover artists or mimics.
Yeah. Mimics.
Dave Smith answered, Rod Serling passed away in 1975. The attraction's designers used film footage of Serling from the Twilight Zone. An actor who sounded like Serling added some lines to fit the needs of the attraction. If you listen closely, you can hear the cut between Serling's voice and the new lines.
He didn't name the actor? I'm so surprised.
I know.
Because I've actually seen him at D23 Expo.
Right.
On an actor's, the voiceover actors panel, which are so amazing, right?
I know. We did get to see him too.
Mark Silverman.
Yeah, Mark Silverman.
And he's like the only one approved to do his voice, right?
Yes. Because the family approved him. Yeah. He's approved by the family to mimic Rod Serling.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't do it over the top like a lot of people.
No, he doesn't.
I remember him explaining that at the D23 Expo.
I can't wait to go on the Tower of Terror again.
Yeah.
I know.
The Tower of Terror is one of my favorites.
Do you miss it here?
I do, but the one in Walt Disney World is way better.
It is, because it goes back and forth rather than just up and
it
down.
actually moves. Yeah.
That freaked me out when I first went on it.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know, because like Courtney always tells the story how she got over her fear of drop rides to go on the Tower of Terror. I don't know if we could have gotten over that fear with that one as much because that one was a little scarier.
Intense.
Very intense. And Guardians is fun. Like the music in Guardians is fun. And we were very skeptical about it, but it turned out pretty good. And we still have the original Tower of Terror in Walt Disney World. So
indeed. All right. So speaking of a Disney park, Courtney, you got to attend the D23 event that honored Dave Smith with a special window on Main Street, which I know is it's like a huge honor, but you were there at the dedication ceremony. So please tell us all about it.
Yes. So this took place on Monday, January 24th. I wasn't actually there for them like revealing the window because that happens early in the morning before the park opens. So when I went was going to go to the event, I did think that we were going to see them reveal the window, but
that's what I would think too.
Yeah, but it was actually done early in the morning with just invited guests and family and personnel from D23. But on D23, they have highlights from the event, and they had Pinocchio and the Blue Fairy and Honest John and Gideon all there, and Geppetto and Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket all there as characters when they were singing When You Wish Upon a Star, because that was Dave Smith's favorite song. And just the dedication of a window on Main Street is only reserved for people who go above and beyond doing something really important for the Walt Disney Company.
Like there's Disney legend status, and then there's like window on Main Street.
Exactly.
Status.
Yeah. And they're usually reserved for like Imagineers, So like Tony Baxter has a window on Main Street. Marty Sklar has a window on Main Street. Rolly Crump has a window on Main Street. And they're all up above the shops. So they're not going to be down below. They're going to be on the second floors of all of them. So when you're on Main Street next time, look up because there's all these Imagineers. But
that's cool.
They did do a kind of a D23 Expo panel about the life and work of Dave Smith at 10 o'clock in the morning after the ceremony. And that was done with Don Hahn, Justin Arthur, and Becky Klein, who is now the head of the Walt Disney Archives.
Wow.
Don Hahn is the legendary producer of all of the films that we grew up with, like Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King. If it was in the 90s, Don Hahn pretty much had a hand in it. And he also directed the documentary Howard on Disney Plus, and which is about Howard Ashman. So they were the panelists, and they were just reminiscing about working with Dave Smith and, being friends with Dave Smith. Becky Cline worked for 17 years with Dave and then for Dave, so she was like underneath, one of his little minions. And then when she took over and he retired in 2010, she took over the archives, but he still came on the lot every day, and what they called him the chief archivist emeritus. Yes, chief archivist emeritus. So he was
just keep on making up names for himself.
Exactly.
And positions.
So he was still there even after he retired.
That's awesome. Did you say you had a clip from this ceremony?
I do. Yes.
Okay, so let's play a little bit of that here.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the happiest place on earth, a place that is filled with the same magic and wonder that fills Geppetto's workshop. And, this heartwarming place, it's from generation to generation. It's a place that we've come to love, this imaginative realm of adventure and wonder. And we are very fortunate that a special man from Pasadena became not only the first chief archivist of Disneyland history, but of the entire Walt Disney Company.
My first contacts with the Disney studio were shortly after Walt Disney died. I was very shocked by that, as most people were. Working at the UCLA library, I thought, well, there's something I could do. I could do a Disney bibliography, and I looked around to see if any had been done, and there hadn't been any. And I contacted the studio to see if they would agree to supply information for me, and they said yes. It gave me my introduction to people at the Disney studio and enabled me to learn a little bit more about the company. So in 1969, when I heard that the company was starting to think about doing something to preserve its history, I thought, well, that sounds like an interesting job. Maybe I could work something up here. And so I volunteered to take a leave of absence from UCLA, and I did a 2-month consulting job at the Disney studio and came up with the idea for an archives program. I turned the proposal in right at the end of 1969, and it took them 6 months, but they finally decided to do it. So June 22nd, 1970 was the date we got started.
I started at the studio in 1976, and there was a gold mine of stuff down in the basement. And we had a lot of spare time back then, so we would go down the basement and try to find things. Well, Dave was always a step ahead of us, and he would go into places, and like one time he found these documents ready to be shredded, and he noticed the handwriting on it was really familiar, and it turned out to be Walt's handwriting. And it was some notes about the entrance plaque to Disneyland just weeks before the park opened on what it should say as you go through the tunnel into the entrance of Disneyland. So there was a respect for the communication, but I think people would just want to move on and move forward with things. And it's also he found the Pinocchio statue down there. There was a storeroom that had chicken wire across it, and a lot of little cubbies and things. And the original kind of Pinocchio model that the animators used was behind a file cabinet, and Dave found it back there and brought it into the collection. So there were so many things like that were not completely valued, I think would be the discreet way to say it, and that Dave brought into the collection and are now around today.
Dave's sister Jean was in the audience, as well as his friends and family and coworkers. So like everybody who works in the archives were there. And they were just having a wonderful morning reminiscing about Dave and how he was just this little boy from Pasadena, and he grew up loving Disney, and then he actually gets to be a part of Disney history. And he is one of the only ones also to become a Disney legend while still working for the Disney Company. Usually you get that when you retire, because Becky Cline said the year that he received it, she made sure that he got it while he was still working because he had some health scares, and she didn't want to do it after he had passed. So
She made sure that he was a legend while still working for the company.
Oh,
yeah,
that is cool. So then,
and she did say that there was an exhibit right outside where the Lincoln is, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
so usually with D23, they usually have like a little, especially with the archives, they'll bring stuff out to show you. This was in the lobby of the Opera House. The presentation all took place in the Opera House on Main Street. They had all of his books there that he wrote, all of the Disney like A to Z's. There's different editions of those. The Disney trivia book was there. They had his Disney Legends Award.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
His pencil, he told a story in one of the packages that he had bought this pencil so that when he was younger, before he started working for the company, he ran into Walt Disney at Disneyland and asked him for his autograph. And Walt Disney politely declined because he doesn't sign autographs because then he'll never be able to get any work done. So he said for him to call the studio and to request an autograph, and he would send him one later. But he bought that pencil so that he could, get Walt's autograph, even though he said no. These pictures will be in the show notes and on the website. And then there's this one, one of the animators drew a picture of him with Donald and his nephews. And there's a bobblehead. So there was just a table right there in the Opera House of all of the stuff. See, there's Dave Smith with his books.
Oh, so cute.
And then also at D23 events, they give you a parting gift. And our parting gift for this one was a replica of the window, like a picture you could frame, a replica of the window that he was bestowed on Main Street. And it says, New Century Historical Society, Dave Smith, Town Archivist, preserving, protecting, and presenting our fond memories of the past. And it kind of looks, it's a two-part window. The New Century Historical Society is on the top of the window, and then on the bottom is the Dave Smith, all the rest of it. So it's suitable for framing, and that every once in a while, like from these events, they either give you a pin or a poster or a replica of something. And this one was a replica of his window. So we all have his window.
Where is his window located so people can find it?
Yeah, so the window is actually right in the middle of Main Street. It is above it is on the left side and like right above when you go in the back entrance of the Emporium.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So if you look straight up, his window is right there in plain view. You can't miss it.
That's really cool. Well, thanks for taking us on that journey, Courtney. Yay.
You're welcome, guys.
Well, so you got to go attend this through D23 Fan Club.
Mm-hmm.
So I know some of us may not know what this is. So let's go into detail on what exactly is D23 and some of the fun experiences we've had because of it.
Yeah.
So Kelly.
Yes. D23 is the official Disney fan club because we needed an official Disney fan club because everybody's a Disney fan. The D stands for Disney and 23 stands for 1923, which was the year that the Walt Disney Company was founded.
Makes sense.
Which, fun fact, Dave Smith found out what the original year was at the company. Like he had to dig and dig and dig and dig and found that year was the year that the papers were signed for the company.
That is cool. Wow.
So this is our yearly membership, and Courtney has had our membership for a long time now. I think we became members in 2017.
No,
16?
in 2013. 2013, I've been a member.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can't believe it's been that long. I know, but I was a member. I became a member in December because it was a Christmas present. And so I had missed the 2013 expo. So our first expo was 2015.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. I got you ladies both beat. I was an actual founding member. What is that? Like,
Ooh,
I think it was
a charter
2008.
member? A charter member.
Yes. I've since
Ah.
let my membership lapse,
I can't
unfortunately.
believe you did that.
I
Charter members
know.
get so many perks.
I know. I'm bad. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I think it was 2008 and it was announced on my birthday. So March 10th, I believe 2008 was like the beginning of it. And so I was at I have gone to all the D23 expos. I will say that.
Okay.
And they've been amazing. But yeah, but now, one of the reasons I stopped was because honestly, the magazines are beautiful, but I don't read them. And then the membership gifts, every year you get a membership gift, they weren't that great. So, but I've heard they've plussed them up.
Yeah, I agree. They were not that great because the first year, 2013, they actually did a really nice one. And I remember it was like all geared towards Mary Poppins. So it was like,
I got that one.
Yeah. So it was all geared towards, because it was like her Saving Mr. Banks was coming out. So it was all geared towards Mary Poppins. So you got like a replica of the invite to the press screening or something like that. And then I got a pin that had Walt Disney's like initials, like his autograph on the pin, like a writing pin. But then the next year I got like a calendar and I was like, well, that's a letdown. And like it was the renewal and it was just like they sent a calendar and I was like, okay, well, this was good. And it had like different scenes from all the movies on it, like animated films. And I wasn't really impressed with that. But then they started sending like replicas of stuff. So one of the years I got replicas, it was all about Walt's office. And I think this was the year they were like redoing it, like recreating it. And so you got replicas of everything that was on that desk. Everything that was on his desk, you got a replica of it. And then the next year was like 9 Old Men. It was all about 9 Old Men. And actually I have gotten some like replicas of sketches that they've done that like I need to hang up and, frame. But like you got sketches from all of the 9 Old Men. One was all about Mickey Mouse. And so there was like old Christmas cards. So yes, the member gift has plussed up entirely.
That is cool.
In the recent years, they've done pins for you guys.
Yeah. So in the last 3 of them, they've done really nice pins. One for their 10th anniversary was a set of all gold pins, and it was different ones. So there was like an Indiana Jones pin, there was a Muppet pin, like anything that was having an anniversary as well, like it was in that. And then there was Fantastic Worlds. They did a set of pins for that. And then this year, they are honoring all of the Disney parks all around the world. So I just got my renewal kit. And yeah, I just got it.
These pins are so beautiful. Like we were looking at them the other day, and they have a lot of the park icons on them. Like Disneyland has the Matterhorn and the castle and other icons in the parks. And each park has its own like theme, and they're beautiful.
And I'll take pictures of all of this too. But right now they have like a passport that says around the world of Disney parks. And so then it opens up and you have aviation wings.
Nice. Oh, cute. With like little Mickey ears.
Yeah. And this is from Walt's plane. So, and Walt's plane will be at the D23 Expo this year as it's restored by Amazon. So it's going to be fully restored, going to be at the Expo. So you have aviation wings for that.
Can't wait for that.
Right. And then they gave
How long the line's going to be for that?
Oh, I know, right?
No
and
kidding.
then they give you a metal luggage tag.
Wow.
That says
That's
D23
fancy.
Gold member on it. This last one is with all the pins.
So it's 7 parks around the world, right?
Yeah. And Disney Cruise Line.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So you have one for Disneyland, one for Disney World, one for Paris, one for Shanghai, Tokyo, and Hong Kong, and the cruise line.
Yeah, basically whatever icons are in that park specifically were on the pins. Like Duffy was in the Tokyo one. And yeah, they're really cool pins. So D23 member gift has gotten better.
Yeah. And as it should, because it is $99 a year for the single membership, and I believe like 120 something for the dual membership that they have. So and that doesn't include, well, and some of the events that you get to go to, they're either complimentary or you do have to pay a small fee for. And when I say small, it could be up to $300 depending on what the event is. Like they did a trip to Sleepy Hollow. And
I heard about that.
Yeah, they did a trip to Sleepy Hollow.
That's amazing.
And that was $300 because they had a whole thing set up in Sleepy Hollow, and it didn't even include your airfare, but only D23 Gold members had a chance to get tickets for those. So that's what I mean. Like they give you, there's a yearly one, but then you do have to pay for some. But like this Dave Smith one, it was complimentary. All I had to do was get a ticket.
Some tickets are harder to get than others.
Right. And then I know there have been like movie screenings at the lot, right? On the Disney lot. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they include special guests.
Yes. Like I got to go to one. It was for Hocus Pocus. And it was in the beginning, they did bring out director Kenny Ortega, and he regaled us of stories about filming Hocus Pocus. So like, wow, that's why I love going to these things. Is like, well, yes, you could watch Hocus Pocus at home anytime, especially with Disney Plus, but can you go and hear stories about it being filmed by Kenny Ortega? No. So yeah. And then I think, I went and saw Mary Poppins, and Stacia Martin, who is an archivist and also animator, she was talking about the music, and she did a whole thing about like music that the Sherman Brothers wrote for Mary Poppins that never made it into Mary Poppins. Like, did you know that Trust in Me from Jungle Book was supposed to be in Mary Poppins?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No.
Trust in Me.
That is cool.
Yeah. So these are the fun things you get to learn about when you go to screenings on the lot. Like, also, I went and saw Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, and we got to hear from Dennis Muir, who did a lot of the special effects and won, I think Oscars for it,
Right.
So
Dennis Murin, right?
Murin, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I took Richard to Sword in the Stone on the lot, and he fell asleep.
Oh no. I was going to say.
But that's why he doesn't remember watching it. But I don't remember anyone talking afterward. I don't know. It's like hard.
Well, I know when they first did them, they were like only $5, and they might not have, but I think, and also you get a parting gift.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, we did get, I think, a poster, but yeah, it was before we started doing all the Skywalking Network stuff and things like that. So,
got it.
So like, I've actually been to the lot several times because of media stuff that I do. So like, it kind of is like, now I don't remember.
Right. They might have been just dipping their toes into screenings and kind of just figuring it all out. And sometimes, sometimes you're newer and people don't necessarily come to things like that until you're established. And now they're 10 years plus. So, they can get whoever they want basically to come.
And plus, going back to the Hocus Pocus one, as well as having Kenny Ortega there, we also got mugs, like a set of 2 mugs that says, "What another glorious morning makes me sick." So like now they're starting to give you stuff from that. And most of the screenings, they get a pin. So like from the Indiana Jones one, we got a marquee that says Obi-Wan because it was from Temple of Doom. So, Mary Poppins, it was her bag, and it's practically perfect in every way. So
cute.
Yeah, I have a couple of those. So usually it's a pin. Sometimes it's a poster. I think I went and saw Lion King. They gave us posters of the new one that was coming up, the live action or the computer generated one, which was not as fun, but like, you know what I'm saying. They always give you something because it's D23. And that's why the price has gone up too, because they give you popcorn and water, and you get a parting gift, and you get a secrets revealed at the top. Before
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I actually went to one of those D23 events. One of my first ones was in 2010, where they had at a Disney store basically, if you signed up fast enough, you got to meet Paige O'Hara before the Disney store opened. And they created these porcelain Mrs. Potts and Chip and Company tea set, as well as like a Lumiere like candle holder and a clock, Cogsworth clock, like an actual working clock. And they were very high quality items that you could buy and then have her sign. And she also had her artwork there as well. So I have a Lumiere with her signature on the base of him. And I have the whole Mrs. Potts tea set. It's gorgeous. It's in my kitchen and I don't really use it that much, but I have used Mrs. Potts for tea. She makes quite the pot.
Well, that's wangela
Angela Lansbury would be proud, right?
Yes. Indeed.
Well, one of my favorite events that we went to was D23's 10th anniversary party. Yeah, that was an incredible event.
And it actually was better because it was supposed to rain that day.
Oh. Yeah, so we actually got to go into the sound stages, which most
this
people
is on the
don't
lot.
Usually.
This
is on the lot.
Wow.
And we got to go into the sound stages where they had props and things of that nature. They had many different celebrities Disney celebrities to meet, and you got to pick 2 to meet. And I remember picking the voices of Disneyland and California Adventure.
Yeah, Bill Rogers and Camille Dixon.
Thank you. Husband and wife team. They were amazing. They were so nice, and they were doing people's voicemails. Whenever you see him, he will do your voicemail if you want him to. He's at the D23 Expo sometimes too. But I also got to meet Karen
Daughtry?
Oh,
Daughtry.
Yes. Daughtry. From
how did I know?
Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Jane from Mary Poppins. And me and Courtney and our friend Jasmine were all dressed up in our Disney best, in our little
that's what
shop
it's
Disney
said to
dress.
do.
Yes.
It's said to do that.
She loved my dress. I had a little Minnie Mouse dress on with some boots, and she couldn't start raving about my boots. And she was so cute and the nicest person ever.
Love the British accent.
I think my favorite interaction from the night was running into Don Hahn.
Yes.
In the middle of the sound stages, between the 2 sound stages, and asking for a picture.
Yeah, because he was one of the people that you could choose, but you could only choose 2, and that's why we chose the husband and wife team. So we got to meet 3 instead. But they provided food. It was like this gala event. They provided food, and he was just milling around, just walking around, just talking to everybody after the official meet and greets. And we were like, "You're Don Hahn. Can we please get a picture with you?" And so he said yes. And he's the nicest guy.
I think he talked to us for a good 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's so nice.
He was so generous with his time. He literally was just standing outside the food stage that they had where all the food was, and he was just literally talking to people. And I think that had to be my favorite. I am on the Disney lot, and I am talking to Don Hahn, who did Beauty and the Beast, who did The Lion King, who was my childhood.
Right.
And got a picture with him that not an official picture. It was just kind of like a selfie. And it was oh my gosh, that is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And we also got to meet Dave Smith.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting.
And bringing it back around to Dave Smith, he was there when we took our tour on our, we really wanted to do that tour of the D23 Walt Disney Studios lot. And we walked into the archives and there was Dave Smith. Courtney was like, "Dang it, I didn't bring any money to buy his book so he could sign it." Because we didn't know he'd be there.
Because he was only taking cash, and I was like, "Dang it!"
I have no cash. Gotcha. Yeah,
but he was there who showed us the archives, because on those tours they take you to the archives, and he was the one that showed us around. This is great.
Yeah, that was amazing. And he said that, and I remember him saying this, he said, everybody would just throw all the props and stuff away or just reuse them or repurpose them. And I said, no, you need to keep on hold of that because that's going to be worth a lot of money one day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he was right.
Case in point, the snow globe from Mary Poppins. Nobody kept it. Like, it was found in a janitor's like dumpster, and he went dumpster diving to go save it. And that's why we have the snow globe today, is he found it in a janitor's dumpster.
I remember seeing that snow globe at D23 Expo, that, the Treasury Archives exhibit.
Yeah.
When they did the Mary Poppins one, and I like burst into tears just seeing that.
I know. And just to know it was in a dumpster that nobody cared about it, we were like, no.
Wow.
And our tour guide was, I believe,
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Wow.
From
Disney
Inside D23 podcast. Yeah.
Right now he is, but he was the Disney geek.
Yes. And that's where I knew him from. And I was the only one on that tour that was freaking out because I was like, it's the Disney geek. And Jeffrey was our tour guide.
Courtney fangirled pretty hard.
I said, Jeffrey, I have to have a picture with you. And then we met him again, and at the 10th anniversary thing, because he was in line, because he was
standing right in front of us in line for something.
And I reminded him that he was our tour guide for the first time on our lot, and he was like, "Oh my God, I was."
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We've had quite the time with D23.
Yeah, if that's not a selling point. If anybody's interested in D23, you can go to D23.com.
Yes, D23.com.
Sign up for a membership anytime at any point. Yeah.
And you don't have to be a gold member per se. If you just like the articles and the website and some of the perks, you can be a free member as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, I had such fun looking back with you guys in time, but now it's time to look forward to the future of Disney. So let's hop on that trolley car to the Hollywood backlot and Disney Plus Studios.
Well, we thought we would close out this episode with some announcements of new shows coming to Disney Television and Disney Plus. We found these listed on D23.com and was so excited about some of them, and we wanted to share it with all of you. So let's each pick one and discuss.
All right. Let's see, Courtney, you were very excited about this, so why don't you start?
Let's see here. What am I most excited about? Oh, actually, I'm so excited about this new National Treasure series. Now, I am a big fan of the movies with Nicolas Cage, mostly because of the others in the movies. I love and also the history aspect of it. But this one is going to be an expansion of that series, that franchise. And it's going to center around the young heroine Jess, a brilliant and resourceful dreamer with a natural talent for solving puzzles and a proclivity for unraveling good mysteries. So it sounds like there's going to be like a mystery every episode, maybe? She says, in search of answers about her own family, Jess embarks on the adventure of a lifetime and recruits a few treasure hunting friends, Tasha, Ethan, Oren, and Liam, and an FBI agent to help uncover the truth about her parents and their connection to a long-last Pan-American treasure. And this is also going to have Catherine Zeta-Jones in it.
Ooh.
And they announced that Lizette Alexis, Zuri Reed, Jordan Rodriguez, Antonio Cipriano, Jake Austin Walker, and Lyndon Smith are going to star in it. And it says Ethan, so I think that was one of the guys in the original movie. So I'm hoping that it has original movie ties.
Cool.
So I was reading this list and I came across the Beauty and the Beast Disney Plus original series, which is going to be set around LeFou and Gaston, which will be Luke Evans and Josh Gad. And I think those two are just hilarious together. And I cannot wait to see what they do with this series. They announced that Rita Ora has joined the cast as a fugitive with surprising abilities who carries a secret that could potentially affect an entire kingdom. which is a sentence that almost scares me. Right?
Yeah.
That this could get interesting. I don't know. It's supposed to be like a prequel to Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
For Gaston.
Well, I guess it would
and
have to
LeFou.
be.
Yeah, but I don't think it makes any mention of Belle or anything like that. So I think they're off to war or something like that. Well, okay. So I did see one thing that said like, either I think it's LeFou's sister comes into town, or and it's his stepsister.
No, the stepsister. Okay.
A revelation from her past comes to life, sending an unlikely trio into an unexpected journey filled with romance, comedy, and adventure.
And she's played by Brianna Middleton.
Right.
Yes. So it has been announced that this series particularly is on hold right now. We're not sure why, but I cannot wait for it. But yeah, that one really sounds interesting to me. And Josh Gad and Luke Evans could really do anything and I'll laugh.
Yes. Oh, yes. Those two are amazing. And if I had not picked another one, that would have been my second choice.
Yes.
But for me, I have to do a shout out to the Mighty Ducks Games Changers season 2.
Yes.
Because I know we talked about it last episode, but we have some more information on this original series. And season 2 will no longer feature Emilio Estevez, unfortunately. I think we've got all the chemistry we can out of him and Lauren Graham in season 1.
Yeah.
But season 2, here, I'll read the little synopsis they have. After winning back the Mighty Ducks team name last year, spoiler, our squad with heart and their coach, Alex Morrow, who is Lauren Graham, take to the road to attend an intense summer hockey institute in California, run by a charming yet hardcore former NHL player, Colin Cole, who is played by Josh Duhamel. It's a place for kids to get excellent at hockey without school to get in the way. As our Ducks try to survive in this super competitive environment, they're faced with the question, can you win summer?
That sounds so fun.
It sounds a little cheesy. But
I'm glad
fun.
they found a way to kind of like move the show along without Emilio Estevez's exit being too dramatic or too jarring. So I'm glad that they are on the road to California and they're going to go find someone new because technically Lauren Graham's character was the coach and Emilio Estevez's character just kind of supported them by letting them practice at the place.
Yeah.
Other than teaching them how to play hockey.
Right.
But I'm glad that's kind of like a seamless transition into season 2. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because like in the previous episode, Don't Bothers, they weren't really excited about getting good about hockey. And now like this is all about getting good about hockey.
Yeah.
Plus,
Can you be competitive?
Right. Plus you don't have that school environment, which I did like those school scenes, when the kids would like be in school and have to use some of the stuff they learned in hockey in school. I don't know. Yeah. I liked that. So I guess we'll see. But this way, I think they're going to interact with other hockey kids who are probably more into it and
are more experienced. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. So it'll
kind of be interesting to see them interact with them because there was a rivalry between what was the Mighty Ducks and the Don't Bothers, and now there won't be that like past rivalry, but there might be like a competitive edge with the teams.
I think those other teams at this camp is probably going to have the reputation of the old Mighty Ducks, and so they're probably going to act upon that. What I mean? Because they had their reputation of being the best, being very mean hockey players. So they might have, since they won the name back, they might have to deal with that reputation now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. I did want to give an honorable mention to Big Shot season 2 because I did like Big Shot season 1. And I'm looking forward to the season 2 as well.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yay. John Stamos. Keeping Disney. He's the Disney family.
That's right.
And also, Doogie Kama Aloha got a season 2 pickup.
Yeah.
Even though you can't say it.
I
But
know,
yay!
right? Just can't say it.
But you know what? It's because we talked about it. Because it was announced after we talked about it.
Yes. That is funny.
Influencing.
I just like to think of that. But the other one that I want to give a message to is Percy Jackson is getting its own episode, series. So I know the movies didn't do so well, so hopefully they can do a better job with make it a series, a long form series. Because I feel like anything that has to do with the Greek gods, like Hercules or anything like that, it's probably best in a long form series.
Yeah, especially because it's coming from books, right?
Yeah.
So books have so much going on in them. Books themselves, I believe, lend themselves to, series a little bit more. Mini series, whatever that comes down to. Get more character development.
Absolutely.
Yes. And if anybody was a fan of Judy Blume like I was growing up, Super Fudge is going to be a movie. I remember this TV show when I was growing up. It was a very campy TV show. But Super Fudge is going to be on there too. Maybe ones for the kids to watch because Judy Blume was my childhood.
Aw, that's awesome. Wow. Well, I'm sure we'll see all of these because it's Disney Plus.
Yes.
Nice. Well, we have reached the end of another episode, but we want to hear from you. So do you have a story with Dave Smith? Have you heard of him? Are you a member of D23? What's your favorite event that you've been to? And are you looking forward to the D23 Expo this year? So let us know your answer. Oh, I know, right? Let us know your answer to all these questions on Instagram at Neverland Clubhouse Pod. And we want to thank you guys for listening to us each month. Our numbers are going up. So thank you. If you've just found us, we hope you really like this show. And we love when you interact with us on Instagram. Make sure you go follow us at Neverland Clubhouse Pod.
Yes, and we want to give a big shout out and thank you to Rob Dellinger for composing our theme song. And to hear more of Rob's work and to see where he will be playing next, please go to his website, alpharhythmkings.com.
We are part of the Skywalking Network, Skynet, where you can also find other great shows like Skywalking Through Neverland,
Talking Apes,
classic Marvel Star Wars comics,
the Max Effects podcast,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows
Today in Star Wars History,
and Collectopolis.
And you can check out all the Skywalking Network podcasts and articles and content and YouTube at skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
You can also find us on social media on Instagram at Neverland Clubhouse Pod, at CLT8622, at Kelly Trickell, and at Jedi Tink.
You can also find us in the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group. Just search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group. Request to join and then answer the questions that pop up. Do it or we can't let you in. All right then. Second star to the right and straight on till morning. Join us for our next adventure from the Neverland Clubhouse.